Welcome back to the Happiness Economy. Two comedians trying to figure out and define happiness. It's been a long journey, and so far so good. Gratitude, acceptance, perspective. And today, I think when you underline gratitude, acceptance, perspective with true joy, which comes from laughing at stand-up comedians, you win. Nick, who's our guest?
Yeah. So our guest today, according to his Instagram bio, Pan-African comedian,
Yes.
actor,
Yes.
voiceover artist, scriptwriter, and award nominee. None other, one of our favorite comedians, a comedian's comedian, a wonderful human being, a friend that feels like family, and somebody that we've grown with in the industry. Ladies and gents, we have the amazing, all the way from Zimbabwe, Q Dube.
Thank you, man. That was a very lovely intro. But I also feel like, like when you lie on your
bio.
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, you write scripts.
Yeah.
Give us Rush Hour 5. And you're like, wait. So,
You
but
must believe in yourself, right? You go,
Right.
okay, I'll give it to you. Or just give me a timeline, and then
Right.
you do the thing.
God.
I saw a trend yesterday because I was listening to Pan-African, and there was a trend yesterday where somebody said, when you lie on your CV and then they ask you to pan the camera, then they're holding a pan and pushing the camera with the pan. And then I was like, that's exactly it. So Pan-African, you got a continent in a pan because you are hot.
You're
That's
hot,
why.
I see.
When I was researching, because then I was telling my fro about it, and she was like, what does Pan-African even mean? And I was like, no, it just means that you're from Africa. You're from all of, like... and-
Everywhere.
Yeah. No, you are African in general, and then from a specific space in Africa.
So we make jokes about the Pan-African part, but we also have done some stuff on the continent with Mr. Dube, and I feel like he's the new boss, which we're going to get into in a second. In a second. So the quick highlights: Zimborn, live in South Africa, always all over the continent. We start at the beginning. Mr. Dube, what does happiness mean to you, and what does it look like in your mind?
Happiness to me is peace of mind, right? Peace of mind. Like, I think it's such an underrated thing. You know what I mean? And because always we believe happiness is this heightened sense of excitement. And it's just peace when you're not worried about, life will happen, but with the things you can control, you're controlling them and doing your best at it. You are not owing people money, especially people that are going to do something to you. Your health is in check. Your friends are good. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. Yeah. Sometimes your relationship, romantic, is okay. Yeah. Your kids are fine. You know what I mean? Just being at peace sometimes is like, thank God.
I think like in a space of not needing or wanting anything more.
Right.
You just
Contentment.
You're comfortable. Life is going well, and like you say, stresses are always going to happen. Life is never going to take its foot off your neck.
Right.
But just the ability to, even in those stresses, be okay.
Yeah.
And just go. Yeah. This too shall pass.
It will pass.
So, I'm always preaching about, my life lessons have taught me just, peace. A lot of peace comes from not biting off more than you can chew, living within your means, choice and consequence, and understanding those. But I spent some time with a friend that's immigrated, came back, and his uncle had just passed. And they were very close to his kids. And the one sentence he said to me that stuck is, he said, his uncle said, I don't understand why people break their own lives. And I don't understand why. So the reason that popped in my mind is I go, we're all looking for peace. And most of the disruptions can also be attributed to us. So like when things are going well, we
claim it.
When things are going well is when we start making more bad decisions. Like we can't leave well enough alone. When you know what I mean. If you do 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, you're gonna get there. But out of nowhere, there's this thing in the back of a human's mind that tempts you into bad decisions, tempts you into destructive behavior, tempts you into. So I think peace is difficult because I think happiness is momentary. But I think contentment can also be something that's in the moment, because right now I'm content, but in 6 minutes I'm going to be starving and they're not content anymore.
Right. And that's I think for me it's knowing yourself as well, right? So when I feel like it's taken time for me to say, okay, who am I?
Yeah.
Then all these other things seem to work themselves out after that. Like, I know that, guys, I always say to people, if the police are looking for me,
Yeah.
I have to be expecting them.
And this has happened.
Right. Well, it has. Yeah, it has. And in that, I knew it's me.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those type of things, when you know yourself and you're able to then navigate certain things. Like Robert De Niro said, which is what you were talking about when things are going well.
Yeah.
He said, calm down, especially in the good times.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Calm down. Relax. You know what I mean?
You know, which is a thing that I feel is so difficult for people, because you go through the hard times, and when the good times come, you feel like you owe it to yourself to go and make that big purchase that you can't really afford. But you're like, no, but I got a nice parcel of money. I need to go and do the thing, which is strange, like human psychology for me, that we don't think about.
No, we don't. We don't. And the pressures, again, from living the life, because we don't want to say it as though, like you said it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because now you're watching everybody else who seems to be living.
Yeah.
And in your mind, I'm not doing the thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't know. So an uncle of mine, he's single, very single, successful guy. And
Very single.
yeah, very, no, he's very, very single, successful guy, doing his thing, always traveling, what. And so he visits a friend, and he's over at their place for dinner. And so after that, you know, the wife is putting the kids to sleep, and, you know, they're outside waiting for the wife to join them, and they're having a whiskey and whatever. And the friend says, yo, man, you're life. Oh, you're life, man, and da-da-da. And my uncle says, in that moment, I realized how empty I was.
Oh.
Because I'm in this person's house.
Yeah.
We've been talking about their careers. His business is doing okay.
Yeah.
His wife is excited about this new job. The kids are pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, they got good report cards.
They're healthy.
They're healthy. We're sitting in his house.
In a beautiful space.
Beautiful space, and it's nice. And he said, yo, bro, your life.
Yeah.
Your life. I'm looking at your life. And I'm like, if I could have this, I would be so happy. And so that for me is like, oh, okay. When you put pressure on yourself, seeing the other person, and you've got no idea that the other person's looking at you, saying, yo, man.
So, you know, gratitude, acceptance, perspective, and what you're speaking about now is the importance of or the dangers rather also of perspective, is because both of these men are doing well in their own rights and in their own lane. But if one looks to the other one's lane, there all of a sudden there's a little bit of envy. All of a sudden there's a little bit of regret, which comes back to the first thing you said of why it's so important to know yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've said this so many times. In the beginning of our journey, because I was a little bit experienced, I was a little bit older, I remember saying to Nick, to Don, to Kate, we on a train here, just make sure that this thing goes to where we want to be. Because I think when you are the guy that is watching the rich uncle, it's easy to go, that's exactly what I want. But you don't have context or perspective of the fact that, I mean, in our previous episode, I remember chatting to Bonko about a picture of him on a hike with his family and saying, I wish that we were taught that this is the point of life. That this is the moment. That, you know what I mean?
Not
that
the
the car, the
materialistic
house, the
side.
money, the degrees even. That those things, yes, they're going to help
have
you
this importance in
facilitate. But the moment, so a person that has everything by somebody else's perception and goes, no, I don't have nothing. I have money and things. You have a wife that loves you. You have kids that are amazing. That you know what I mean. You have a home. You have a family. You have people. So then it's so important to chase the thing that you want, not just the things that you see. You know what I mean? So when I see people with kids, I've got no envy.
Right.
Because I don't want kids. I know that about myself. Nick will back me up. It doesn't matter who tries to convince me that is the purpose of life. I'm like, yeah, your life.
For you.
For you. But I don't envy it. So when you say you know you, what is Q? Who is Q? Where are you trying to go? What does your life look like?
Yo, man, right now, and it's been for a while, I just want to be okay. I'm not chasing for being the richest person, being the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be okay, and I want the people around me to be okay. That I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like my niece the other day, it was bring someone special to school.
Yeah.
And her mom phones and says, "Hey, Akile wants you to come to her school." Bro,
You've won.
bro,
Even
Trevor
that
Noah
made
for
me
who?
emotional, bruh.
bro, I'm done. It's like, oh my God. And that was my thing for the week. Like, okay, so what she's like, relax, Q, it's okay.
Yeah.
Look, no, but what do you need? Because there was a picnic after. So you're gonna get to their class and boom, 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 do things with them. And then after that, go have a picnic outside. And I'm like, okay, so what do I get? What do I? She's like, yo, it's okay, just get snacks and whatever. Yeah, but what does she like? You know what I mean? And then you realize that it's in those simple things, right? Where it's, that's where you find the happiness. That's where you find the okay.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
The moments of joy.
Yeah. The journey, not the destination. The stop and smell the roses. Things that have been thrown at us our whole lives. And for some reason, I was in my 40s when clarity on the destination is death. When the clarity of the destination is death, that's why you have to enjoy the journey. Because for all of us, it doesn't matter where you are, what you're
What your
doing.
status
For
is.
every single human being on earth, the destination is death. That's where the journey ends. And that's why you've got to make the best of it and be present every day.
Right,
Present enough to be able to go, what a wonderful opportunity. So you take joy from the phone call, never mind from the event of actually being at the school. From the phone call, you're able to feed yourself with that. Then I find that has a peak and then it wears off. It's like Red Bull. It's like an energy drink. And then we seem to revert back to societal norms of what we should be chasing. Why do you think that's the problem?
Again, it goes back to knowing yourself, right? So when you know the things that make you happy, you know the things that bring you joy, bring you peace, bring you whatever, you are intentional about curating your life that way. Which a friend of mine said, yo, dude, do you ever take stock take of your life? Right? And I'm like, stock take? It's like, just stock take. Like,
We call it pull the dipstick to check the
to
oil
check
level.
the oil, right. And
Yeah.
it's like, I think a lot of us don't do that. We go from day to day. That's why you're gonna be distracted by, Nick is traveling, it should be me. Jay just did that, it should be me. And it's like, no, who are you? What's your things? And I enjoy, like when we go play pool.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful time. I love that.
No
It's
stress. Peace.
such a dope thing. Going to spend time with my nieces, my nephews, all those types of things, writing and whatever. So when the next thing, quote unquote, stops, it may not stop in its existence. It stops in this particular moment. Right? But I know my nieces and nephews are always available.
Yes.
For, hey, let's go get an ice cream. Let me get you some donuts. Let's, you know what I mean? I know that, yes, we may have that moment we had in Zambia, but the existence of the friendship is there. So I know that, we're going to go meet for pool, we're going to go meet for lunch, we're going to, all these different things, and all those are intentional. It's not just fly by the seat of your pants, and because that's where the distraction happens. So centering yourself. Say, this is who I am, this is what I do.
So the thing for me, and I 100% agree with you, but what I find in society is that it's so difficult for us to even know who we are. Like I feel like too many people are doing the thing of looking from the outside, like, and not taking time to actually understand yourself and understand, because it's a difficult thing to go, this is what I like, especially when you're in a group of friends or your social setting and everybody else is heading this way, but you want to go this way. It's very difficult to be the one that goes, no, this is the thing that makes me happy. And then you just end up doing that thing and chasing and hoping that you're going to be. And I had a conversation with somebody the other day that said, if you're bad at math, if you were 30% student at math and you put in an extra 20%, you're going to get to 50%, which is going to make you mediocre at math.
Right.
Because math is a thing that you don't enjoy. So it's difficult to put in that extra 20%. Whereas if you're good at science and you really love science and you're a 70% student at science, you put in that same 20%, that may take you to 100% because it's a thing that you actually enjoy doing, so it's easier to learn, it's easier to grow. And I find that too many people are too caught up and too afraid to just be themselves. Like I've been reading a book about just be yourself, be comfortable with who you are, what you are, and accept yourself and deal with the consequences. There are people who are going to accept you and people who are not going to accept you, and both are okay.
Right.
You don't have to please everybody, and I feel like we're in a space where we're trying to please or prove to everybody that we are.
And that is only solvable when you stop looking in the wrong places for affirmations. So I think my wish then becomes for you and for everybody that you are able to decide whose opinion matters, because I think it's impossible to. So we always speak about mute the noise, but we never speak about how. And I think it's impossible to mute the noise if you haven't designated like these people's opinions matter, these people's feelings matter, and my opinion matters.
Yeah.
So when you speak about do the dipstick test or do the stock take of your life, it's formulating your opinion of what it must be. I know 25-year-old Q wouldn't have answered the same way around. I'm not trying to be the richest. I'm not trying to be the biggest. I'm looking for peace and for those around me to have peace, and to be okay. And that's, I think, the gift of age. But it's so difficult. So it was hard for us, and we grew up with no social media.
Right.
You know what I mean? We grew up with the opinions of the kids on your street, the kids in your class, and the kids in the family. There was no other influences. And then I think, because I don't know if I've done that. I think maybe I've done it in the back of my mind. My wife matters, my mother matters. You know what I mean? Those that are close, but the rest don't. But I've also made myself matter a lot more in terms of what I want, and then there's no pressure. If what I want doesn't align with what you want, as long as I'm not affecting you, we can be easy and carry on with our lives. I like that.
Yeah, that's it. As long as also with that thing is very important to say, pleasing everyone. It's and seeking validation from everyone.
That's those affirmations. Validation is the word.
I'm not there.
No,
I'm not. It's like, hey, man, as long as we respect each other. That's all I ask. Let's respect each other. Like,
I remember we did an episode with Tats and Konzo, and I brought up with Tats that Tats unfollowed me during lockdown. Yeah. And I said to him, I thought that we were not friends anymore. And then when I bumped into you, you gave me the same love as always. I couldn't understand why you unfollowed me. And he said, I unfollowed you because I was tired of this. He said, every time I'd look at a picture of you, you're doing something cool, you're smiling, you're happy, and it wasn't reflecting my life at the time. And following you was distracting me from what I'm supposed to do. Because I started asking myself, I should be doing that. Yeah. Or why haven't I got that opportunity?
Right.
Or what, you know what I mean? What am I not doing? And then he was like, the easiest way was just to unfollow. I was like, bro, there's a mute. You can just mute. You don't have to hurt my feelings.
Why have you blocked me? I don't even see your post.
You know what I mean? You can just mute this thing. But speaking about perspectives, as somebody who grew up in Zim, I know you grew up okay. You grew up well in Zim. You're not the stereotypical Zimbabwean that the world and propaganda has made us picture. You had a good life growing up, good parents, good environment. Being in South Africa, are there any moments where you're frustrated about South Africans moaning about things that actually are okay and they shouldn't moan about because you've been through worse? Are there any moments like that?
Not necessarily, and I'll tell you why. And I get your question. For me, it's like a person's reality is literally their reality, right? It's their life. It's what they live. It's what they know.
Yeah.
And so trying to convince them that they are wrong in what they know
and what they're feeling
is almost sometimes I know it's not the intent, but it's almost sometimes an insult to the thing.
It's a little bit disrespectful.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what are you saying? This is what I know, right? This is the life I've lived. This is also, I always say, trying to convince someone that the thing that they want is not important. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they know. And that's how their life is set up. So if you know that service delivery is supposed to work like this.
Yeah.
That's what you know. Then I come from a space where politicians don't care.
Yeah.
And they tell you the reason, like there's one, I'll look for the article and send it to you.
Just be careful what you say.
Yeah. No, it was back in the day. And this person says, obviously in charge of that, but says the reason there's congestion is because there's too much fuel. And you're like, what? So when you are from that environment,
Yeah.
to then tell someone who knows, say, okay, let's simplify it. Someone stays mom, dad, family.
Yeah.
Right? Dad comes home every day at 5. Mom comes home every day at 5. They sit, they eat dinner together, they do whatever.
Yeah.
My dad is a rolling stone.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't, 2-3 days we don't know where he is.
Yeah.
He comes back, sweets nyana, plays, disappears. The day that your dad disappears and comes home at 10,
It's the end of the world.
and you question, say, what happened? I can't peek over the fence and say, no, 10.
Yeah.
My father's, it's like, no, that's you.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is what we know here, and this is what we do here. And deviation from that, even if it's just a slight degree, has to be questioned according to what we've set as the standard here.
Yeah.
You fix that there. Do you get what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. We speak often about don't compare your trauma. Feel whatever you're feeling and don't suppress what you're feeling because it's not as bad as.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a beautiful articulation for that. I like that.
Yeah.
You were
And
gonna say?
also, like, I read a thing about how we want things for other people. So what I want for you is may not be what you want for you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
me
Hardly
trying
ever
to
is,
then
yeah.
to push you in a direction and go, no, this is what you need to do to get to the thing. That's what I can see for you. But if you don't see the same thing, then I'm wasting both of our time trying
And
to force
frustrating
you.
both.
Right.
And I'm frustrating myself more than I'm frustrating you because I'm just going, dude, if you just do this, it's going to fix. It's like I always believe, like somebody who's addicted to drugs or alcohol or whatever, you can't force them into a rehab. You can't force them to try and clean their lives up.
Right.
They have to make the decision. Because I've had family members who've been in, and friends that have been in those situations. And then we have the discussions about, what are we going to do? How are we going to... And, the family and the friends sit and have sleepless nights and we stress while this person is living
Their best
their
life.
best
They're
life.
out there.
Their best life. They don't think about you
Right.
until they need something. And even
Right.
then, it's just a passing thing. So, like, it's something that I wish more people could just understand that, yes, it's important to be there and support the ones that you love and the ones that matter in your life. But you also can't force people to do things that you want them to.
Yeah.
No, but it's the sentence, and I think Mojack articulated it so beautifully at Ebenezer's funeral about we mourn not only the death of our friend, but we mourn what Eb could have been. And what we saw. So you meet a talented person that you care for, you have this vision for them, and they don't have that vision for themselves. So I think that translates into just about every relationship. And I also don't want to pretend like it's easy. When you care for somebody, you naturally want the best for them. You know what I mean? And it's like I think mothers suffer the most with that thing because they care for you, because they've also bumped their heads before, they've seen flops before. They want the best for you, but the rule is, as you said, Nick, is you can't want for someone what they don't want for themselves. You can only be kind, you can only love, you can only be there as much as you can. And also at some point, if you're dealing with addicts, I've dealt with an addict, you've got to put in rules and start protecting yourself as well, because the disease doesn't only affect, somebody said it's like, it's when you have an addict or a suicide is like a atom bomb. Not an atom, like a suicide bomber.
Right.
Like those closest to the blast are most affected.
Most affected, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's literally like that blast radius analogy. The further away you are, the less you feel. The closer you are, the more you feel. Yes, this got heavy already.
So,
Yeah, man.
in fact, I want to find out, because we know like the comedy story and the acting. What are other things that you're passionate about that bring you joy? What do you do outside of the work stuff that just, when things are not going well, how do you move? How do you shift that energy?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. It's again the things that matter to me. So family, right? And community rather. Let me put it as community, because it brings in a lot of other things, and being very intentional about the community I have, because it feeds, even if it's not. Like, just the joy of being around people and there's no negative energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's such a priceless thing, right? Where now I'm not back in the car hyped up about how I was when I walked into the space.
Or feeling the anxiety as you're approaching the space. Like, there's some environments where you go into that environment and you're like, oh man, I don't wanna. And then it's to look forward to and enjoy the trip home.
You see now. So that stuff is, so right now, sport, getting back into sport is such a mind, and everything as well being more about me. Does this make sense to me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, it does.
Yeah.
And then we do the thing. So bringing it back to like comedy, right? People complain about rooms. Oh, this room and da-da-da. And then my thing is, why do you perform there?
Yeah. Why do you keep going back?
Why do you go back there? Instead of saying, what does this mean for me? Yeah. This works for whoever's doing it. What does it mean? Do I want to fight the crowd? Do I want to? I don't. So I'm not going to perform there. And using that as a life thing to say, all right, what works for me?
Yes. What do I want?
What do I want? Okay, this is what I want. I enjoy taking walks. Again, I enjoy family. I enjoy community, positive community. And I enjoy writing. And so if I'm having a bad whatever period, I don't have money to go out. I don't have my laptop is my thing. I flip it open and I write whatever it is. If I'm starting a new series, if I'm whatever, that brings me my joy. I'm at peace when I come out to meet the next person. I'm not projecting what I'm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it's those things.
I also saw a thing that spoke about how we react based on how we're feeling. So the same situation, you'll react differently depending on if you're in a good mood or bad mood. Which is I just wanted to mention off of what you were saying. But the writing thing for me is a thing that I've recently found a love for. I watched a podcast with Jordan Peterson where he speaks about the reason for writing and how we've always been taught that the reason for writing is so that you can get the mark. When you're at school, you write so that you can, your teachers everything to mark. When you're at university, you write so that there's something to mark. And then
when you've been naughty, you write, I will not.
Yeah, I will not be naughty.
It's a punishment.
You know, he says the purpose of writing is to clarify your mind and put down your thoughts. Right. And I don't write scripts or things like that. I found, so the advice that he gave is find a topic that you're interested in and just write about that topic so that you can understand the topic the way you see it, because writing is shows you how your mind works, how you think. And it's become a beautiful thing for me. Like I didn't want a journal, but I found myself, because I got into the process of, okay, cool, let me just try and write. Because also when you clarify the way you think, then he says you're able to be more articulate. when you speak, having conversation. And I'm like, I use words to pay my bills. I have to be able to be more articulate, because if you can be more articulate, you can say less and have more impact in what you're saying. And I've just fallen in love with the idea of writing, and now I find myself writing poetry, bruh. I write poems.
I mean, read us a poem.
No, I don't. I write.
Just checking. No, just checking.
Yeah. No, because like the laptop is a weird disconnect for me. Like I find
pen
actually sitting pen and paper.
A lot of great comedians have had that same sentiment in terms of the disconnect, and I think Seinfeld famously spoke about the reason he's never used a computer is it's the flashing. Remember, I don't know if it still has, but Word used to have the cursor. The cursor thing used to flash.
Yes.
And then he says when you hit block and that thing is taunting him, like, you haven't written anything. You can see, I don't have a computer. I don't think you Seinfeld. But in that same podcast, Jordan Peterson speaks about how we never speak about how hard it actually is to think. And he says, like, most people are only thinking while they're talking. That's why they've got to talk it through. Most people can't just have the conversation and unpack stuff in their minds. And writing the idea down offers you that opportunity to unpack and take different off-ramps and lead things out. And I'm preaching to myself now, because a meme that I read last week that I actually showed my wife, and I was like, this is so us. Right. And it was just the two images, one a perfect circle, one a bit messy, and it said, don't wait for it to be perfect before you start. The only way to make it perfect is to start and then perfect it. And I think so many of my ideas, so many things I want to do live in that space of I'm not going to start. And writing is one of those things for me. Like, okay, what am I going to write about? Right. And then it's like, no, start writing. And it's amazing how much
you actually are able to write. Like I sit down to write a paragraph or a couple of sentences because that's what I have in my mind.
Yeah.
Then 2.5 pages later, I'm going, hey, my hands are hurting now. I need to start wrapping
It's
up.
another thing because we're unfit now.
Yeah, because we don't sit and write. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Like, also, it's dope that you mentioned Jordan Peterson because I tell a lot of people with, like, especially teenage kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things that it's difficult to unlearn. I think one of you tapped on that.
Yeah.
Like the unlearning process. But we can impart that on those coming out.
Yes.
Right.
And prevent them from making the same bad habits that we did.
Yeah. And so that's one thing that I tell people that, get your kids to listen to Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get them to listen to Jordan.
Love his perspective.
Yeah, and look,
Love
he's
his
not
perspective.
perfect. There are
No,
certain
no.
things
No, but
that you can, but there's a thing
He's
there.
clear, he's fair. I
Right.
think he's
Yes,
kind.
he's
I like that he doesn't pretend because he's hurting as well. He lives in turmoil, which I think he's very honest about. But he says the things that I believe every human on earth needs to hear right now. That a lot of us are scared to publicly say and publicly admit to. Bruh, Nick and I were speaking the other day, like how it sat with me for weeks when I watched the interview with him going, and they asked him, how are you feeling?
Oh yeah.
And he
then
goes,
he breaks down.
I'm terrible and amazing all at the same time. And for the first time, I can see in somebody's eyes what it means that happiness is not just the amazing.
Yeah.
He finds happiness in the terrible as well because that's where the experience of life comes through, and to be present and to find your happiness in both of those things is actually quite a crazy thing. To give us some direction on your happiness and also get us into some of the Pan-Africanness, we're going to bring up a couple of images. So in this segment, we find out who is happy based on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we've gone through your Instagram where everybody's happy on Instagram. You have to be happy on Instagram. Whether you're happy or not, you try your tears and carry on. And if there are tears, they're tears of joy. I can't believe I have so much money. You know what I mean?
I'm so rich.
I'm weighed down by success.
I can't believe. So I want to start with a series, and Ronaldo, this is going to be difficult for you because there are so many of them.
So many.
Okay.
But you've become synonymous with the word murdered.
Right.
Yes.
So you're going to go onto Q's Instagram and you're going to see posters of events after the fact. So after he's performed at these events and murdered. So Abuti Lolo Chuckles and Bubbles, I think it's called. It's over there. Murdered! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Right.
Ntosh at King's Kraal, murdered.
And King's Kraal is not an issue.
No one murders
let
at
me
King's
tell you.
Kraal.
Right.
Except Mashabela, he murders there, and so does Tips, and so does Q. Shampoonizer Comedy Show, murdered. Sima and Friends Comedy Show, murdered. Otherwise, murdered. Last One Laugh, murdered. The Last Laugh. We spoke about this. What made you start doing that?
So that was funny enough about myself, right?
Yeah.
So being in coming from Zim, I used to come in and out.
Yeah.
Right, with Carl Joshua Ngube.
Yes,
whatnot.
the great
Shout out,
guy,
Carl.
yeah.
The United Nations ambassador.
Come on, man. Doing his
on.
thing. I'm proud of
Come
that man. So we used to come in and out and whatever. So when I decided, hit the ceiling in Zim and whatnot, let me make the move.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fun time, right? So making that move, there was already stuff happening, and then me, myself, having to move. And I moved virtually with nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't have any money and da-da-da. Fortunately, I had family who was like, we got you.
Come through.
Right? So, but still, that period was messed up for me. So, being in my head, and I remember the first gig was at Goliath in Melrose.
Yeah.
I talked to you and Don. They're like, we won't be there, but hit up Nick.
Yeah.
And so...
Because we'd performed with you in Harare. And so,
right.
yeah.
So, and I think we had done a couple of the boxes when I'm
yes.
around and
Yeah,
whatnot. But we just hadn't clicked like that to immediately know
Yes.
who's who.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, hit up Nick and boom, boom. And I had just arrived that afternoon. I've arrived that afternoon. Boom, boom, boom. My cousin's like, I will drop you off. Melrose is not too far. Let me go drop you off. And I'm in my head so much, right? step on stage. Nick is upstairs. He's watching. I bomb that day. And it's like, oh my gosh. And so now you leave and you're thinking, did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
Did I, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Nick
I've left everything I know.
I've left everything I know. Nick is the guy that books. He just saw me
Take
out.
it straight in the teeth.
You know what I mean? It's like, nah, you know, because also in your head, you're thinking, nah, man, I'm going to move and then it's going to go like that and then it's going to go like that. And then you get there and it's like, yeah, I know for the next, I don't know how long, I'm not being booked.
A baptism of fire. Welcome to the Champions League.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
now I can't get out of my head. I'm in my head. I struggle for a couple of months to really find that thing.
Yeah.
And Celeste is the one who said, yo, what's going on with you? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. And I said, no, man, okay, why aren't you talking about Zim? That's where you're from. Talk about that. Maybe it'll help you get out of your thing. So hence I'm not going back. They started getting born and so on. So the murdered was to reassure myself.
Yeah.
You did well tonight.
Yeah.
You did
Don't
well
forget
tonight.
it.
Don't forget. You did well tonight.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do
Take
with
your
anybody
flowers.
else.
Yeah.
Right? To show anybody. It was really for me to say, you did well tonight.
Yeah.
Let's do the next one. You did. And then it just started becoming a thing. And then it works now when whoever's checking your profile.
Yeah.
So I've substituted. I will go to posting clips. But it was a substitute for clips.
Yeah.
I don't have to post the clips. It's the poster where I said, oh no, I murdered this.
Yeah.
And I won't lie, because the shows that I don't post. Murdered.
Yeah.
No, but then on those shows you must say, took it in the
Maybe I should do that. Yeah.
No, we
just
want to
say,
see the
oh,
whole truth and nothing but
I took it to the team.
No, but Instagram is the place of happiness and murdered.
Right.
And not the place of...
I wish you'd come and spoken to me at that time, because what I would have said to you is, it is so easy when you're under so much pressure. And now you must remember, you've taken your jokes from I'm having fun on stage to life or death. I've moved to another country with nothing. These jokes are basically all I have, and I'm planning to build my legacy on these jokes. There's a lot of pressure for a poor joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that as comedians, it's crazy that if we're not having fun, the audience is not having fun. And all you needed to do was have fun. And I'm sure if you look back now, the second you started having fun, the murdered becomes a lifestyle.
Right. But and true, but in that moment as well, you know how we are in our industry. And I'm a very self-aware person.
Yes.
Right. I was having funny enough this conversation with Siasea and whatnot. And Siasea yesterday was saying he doesn't like it when people say, no, I'm not going after Sia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, no, but Sia, it's not an ego thing. It's a self-awareness thing. Yeah. I know who I am.
Absolutely.
With you. I'm not saying I'm a bad comic.
Nope.
I'm not, but I know what you are. And when I'm thinking of the show in its completeness,
Absolutely.
you have to be the one to close the show.
Yeah, there's rooms that I will not go after Sia. Let me tell you for free. There are rooms and shows that it doesn't make sense for the production. Right. It doesn't make sense for the enjoyment of the audience. And therefore, it doesn't make sense for my enjoyment.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go on after that. But there's also rooms where I can guarantee you, Sia's going to say, I'm not following this guy in this room. And we've got to embrace it in that way. So it's not just an ego thing, but it's also a production thing. And I think that artists who are self-aware and generous in terms of for the greatness of the show, because there's also guys that are self-aware that want to go first and they know they're the strongest on the bill, and they do that selfishly to protect themselves, which doesn't help the audience. It doesn't help the proprietor, the show itself, the producer. So I think it's a nice two-way thing there, but self-awareness is a good point to start.
It's a good thing, yeah. So for me, I was saying that to say, that to say, in that moment where you're like, I wish you had spoken to me, that self-awareness for me was like, in as much as I know Jay, I know Nick and Adara, I have to earn the right to be able to just pick up the phone.
Those days are gone, eh? Those days ago, when we started, there was I have to earn the right to speak to So Gola. I couldn't just walk up to Gola. There was a strong hierarchy. These new lighties, that hierarchy thing doesn't play for them.
They'll come and tell you how to do your job. You see, and it's their third performance.
100%.
And you're like, my man.
Right.
100%.
Who are you? Let's go to the next one. Because there's some beautiful ones.
And we are running out of time. This was dude, this was one of my favorite times watching you perform.
Zambia.
Nick and I get booked to go to Zambia. We asked you to come along, if I remember it correctly. We're doing this crazy show because also, we're so limited in terms of the way we think, especially Nick and I. We haven't done as much of the continent perhaps as you have. And you question things like, are they going to understand what I'm saying? Because I'm going to go and speak English there. Are they going to get the narrative of my jokes? And are they even going to come? We end up in the most beautiful theater, 1,000 seats, but there's another festival happening, 13,000 people in the same space.
Yeah.
So now your mind is blown because you don't go to spaces often in Joburg where there's 15,000 people out at the same time.
Yeah.
We're going to do this show, and this was one of those where I should have closed the first half and you should have closed the show because I watched you that day perform out of your skin. I watched you that day.
The best we'd seen you perform.
Right.
Up to that point, yeah. But I watched you that day, and it was terrifying for all of us. I mean, I watched the same of Nick. Nick, I've never seen Nick nervous. Nick is not a person that expresses nerves.
Yeah.
And Nick was proper sweaty palms, and I remember psyching him backstage, going, "Okay, you got this, you got this, you got this. You're about to host in a country that you've never been into, people you've never met. You don't know if they're gonna love you, but you are you. Go and do you." And then we all do that thing of, it doesn't matter how nervous you are. 3, 2, 1,
Go.
Yeah. And destroy.
Yep.
Was that when you fell in love and realized that, oh my goodness, there's more to comedy at the moment than just South Africa, but the continent is alive and well and starting to capitalize that way?
Yeah, that exactly was it. And I remember I told you, I was like, yo, man, I think I wanna do. I've got no plan. I don't know how this is gonna go.
He said many times, "This is the best night of
Like,
my
yes.
life."
Hands up in the air. Yes.
Oh, that
Yes,
night
yes.
was insane.
I remember us having that discussion actually.
Yeah, where I was like, I think, man, there has to be more of this thing out there. Because by then, you remember your Salvadors had come, your Basket Mouths had come this
Set
way.
foundation.
And it's like, yo, let's go to them. What's
Yeah.
there? But that night was one of those, and also huge proof that you made the right choice. So it's like, okay, they asked me to go to Zambia. I don't know why, but I'm here. I have to have them say, yeah, we chose all right. You know what I mean? Because that flight would have been coming back and I died.
Yeah,
It
now
would
we
have
must
been-
just looking out the window and we don't even have a window seat.
you know what I mean? So it really was also that pressure to say, I have to prove to them that, because you could have picked anybody else.
But,
So can I just say that the reason you were there is because you'd proved already. Like we wouldn't have invited you had we had questions about the level
the reason
of
you
your
were there is
performance.
we needed a ace up our sleeves because remember they'd invested in flying 2 South Africans over, and the reason we invited you was because we needed that ace up our sleeves so that if we don't make it in front of that audience, at least we've given them a guaranteed show. Because at that time, to us, you were a guaranteed bet. And when I say guaranteed bet, it was for the environments that we were going to be booking you for. We knew that this is a bankable act. This guy's going to come through. And then you came through on levels
that even we didn't
we were not
expect.
expecting. I actually have a selfie of the morning after, which I'm going to ask Ronaldo to bring up now and make a note about, because that show when you speak about the flight home could have been terrible if you were bad. That flight home was terrible because we weren't even hungover yet because we hadn't slept.
Yeah.
We flew home, all of us, in the same clothes we performed in the night before. That was one of those. So this picture you see, it's beautiful. It's sunrise in Zambia after a night of not sleeping. I'll never forget trying to walk back to the hotel at 3 o'clock. And the brother that we were with says, we like, hey, we got to get to sleep and we're about to get picked up. We got an early flight. And he goes, what time's your pickup? And we go, no, man, like 5:30, 6 a.m. He looks at his watch, it's 3 o'clock. He says, no, man, that means we still got 3 hours to do. Then I was like, Zambia, I love you.
Zambia was amazing.
Shout out Lusaka. Shout out
Super
Zambia.
beautiful, man. Super. But also, I don't know how much time we have. That period where we almost went to save a show that had nothing to do with us.
Ooh.
It's like, what were we thinking?
I feel like that's a podcast on its own.
We need to
So
talk about
Kiss,
that.
Kiss Daniel was late. The audience wasn't having it. There were 13,000 people in the crowd. We find ourselves in the little VIP section there, and literally the audience start throwing bottles at the stage. And I'll never forget, the head of security goes on stage at some point, gets so angry, he goes, "Release the dogs!" The guys and we were like, "What? Release the?"
And the release the dogs only came after he said, "Security, move in."
Yes.
Right.
And then we turned around and looked at the 40 security guards surrounding these 13,000 people going.
Me there. No.
And just to let you know, you can achieve anything with confidence. We then decided, because at this point we'd had many Zambian delicious beverages, and we decided, no. I mean, we got this. We can calm this crowd down. They just need a professional on stage. And somehow we walked backstage and told everybody
next to the
that
stage.
no, get us a mic. And it was somebody was saying, "Oh, don't let them through." Then we'd worked with some producer was on stage. They, "No, I know those guys."
Q's cousin was there
Send them
also.
to the Q's and then as we were about to do it, the guy walks on stage, and we thinking
And
he's
saved
gonna,
our lives.
And within 2 seconds, the bottles changed to panties.
Right.
Like literally,
It's a
the
show.
guy, he didn't need us.
Right. When
He
we were
did
walking,
not.
I don't know if you remember when we were walking backstage. It's a line of people.
Yes.
It's Jay, I think you were in front, Nick, then me, and we're walking.
I was at the back.
You were at the back.
Yeah.
And so we're walking backstage, and one of the producer ladies is coming this way.
Yes.
And you can tell she's frustrated. Bottles are being thrown.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what to do. And she sees us. And she says, "Where are you guys going?" And then we're all like, "No, we're going to the stage. We're going to save the show." Then she's like, "Oh yeah, please do." And it's like, guys, do you understand how expensive this production is? But it got to a point where she was like, "Guys, go do it." We got, oh, what a night,
The
man.
arrogance, the confidence,
Man.
the memories.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
The memories.
Yeah.
Go to the last one.
Okay.
17 December. The goat.
17 December. Oh, no, I did it. I've got it here.
Yeah.
First of all, I feel like this man, and I think it's because of how he moves, right?
The great Louis Okola.
I feel like we don't give him the reverence he deserves.
Agreed.
That's
I feel like we do, as comedians who have worked with him. I've never worked with a comedian who speaks ill, doesn't respect. I think as comedians we do, but we don't shout about it enough. I agree.
Yeah,
Anyway.
we don't shout it enough because there are other guys who are doing okay. You know, they're doing well, and when they enter a room, it's like, "Oh snap, so and so is here," and I'm like, "No, Lloyd, that's who you do that to." You know what I mean? I have the utmost. I don't know what it is.
It's an awe, a respect, and an adoration.
Right. For Lloyd, man. He's that guy. And gratitude. So we go back to gratitude, Zambia and whatnot. We get booked along with Celeste, but I think she went early. We're going to Uganda.
Yeah.
And we are on the same flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fortunately, they put him in business class. I'm in economy.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't have to deal with, but I'm anxious, right?
Because you're getting picked up together.
With Lloyd.
Yeah.
What do I say? What do we
And
talk about?
Louis got an intensity.
Yeah.
Not a foolishness,
Yeah.
but an intensity about himself.
Right. And so it's like, what do I... And we get picked up and we're clearing immigration. He gets cleared. There's an issue with my passport. And it's like, okay. So we have to deal with that. And then I look and he's waiting.
Yeah.
Right. He's waiting to see if I'm straight. And boom, 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 we get sorted. And then we get into this car. And we are experiencing the chaos because we get picked up during rush hour.
Yeah.
And so we're experiencing the chaos of the driving and we're picked up in this huge SUV and what. And in that moment of both of us looking to say, this is wild.
Yeah.
We spark up a conversation and it is gorgeous. But in that moment, I'm still like, I'm sitting with my idol.
Yeah.
I've known Louis for 14 years since he started comedy, and I still am often switching between fanboy and friend.
And friend,
I still get nervous around it.
He's so and I'm older than Louis, but he feels older than me.
Right.
He's so wise beyond his years, and his composure, other than outside of just his comedy, like as a human, like I'm not proud of this.
Right.
For 34 years of my life, I'm 44 now. For 34 years of my life, Nicholas will tell you I never used a seatbelt.
Okay.
I was the guy that went to the scrapyard and got an old little seatbelt holder so I could put it into the car, wouldn't beep, and just left it in there all the time. I've worn a seatbelt religiously for the last 10 years because of Loy. Loy and I are in the back of one of those H1s, those are Hyundai things, going from Durban to a show in Richards Bay.
Right.
And we're sitting in the middle row, and Loy puts his seatbelt on. And it's just the two of us in the back of this bus with the driver.
Right.
And I go, come on, bruh. I know you don't drive because he doesn't drive.
Yeah.
But seatbelt. And the guy looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? He said, you know how many things I've still got to do in my life? The only thing that the only purpose this thing has, the only reason for this thing is to try and save my life in the event of a crash. You think I'm not going to put it on? I want to live. I wear my seatbelt every
day.
If you ever see me, I guarantee you, my seatbelt is on because of Lloyd. That's the type of impact and influence the guy has.
And what I love about Loy is he is the epitome of somebody who is just comfortable with who they are.
Knows what he wants.
Accept me the way I am or don't.
Or don't at all.
Very simple, very straightforward, and just I love it. I wish more people could move with that energy.
Yeah.
I do want to say that your picture and this is why we need to interrogate people's Instagrams, because the picture and the comment that you have on there does not depict how you were feeling that day, because the picture looks like you are both rock stars.
Right.
The comment is the goat, X, the king, a crown in there.
Right.
And then you were just telling us now about how you already were there in the back of the plane.
Right.
We missed the king.
I'm going to talk to him about
Ask him about family. No. Let me.
When you look at this, can you believe that this is your life?
That's the thing. And gratitude, right?
Yeah.
I am always in awe of every space that I'm in and to say I don't take anything for granted. I don't take the access I have to you guys for granted. I don't take even Banger or Celeste or whatever.
Come on, the greats.
Yeah,
all of
I
them.
don't take it for granted. And the respect still has to be there in spite of the friendship, right? Because people being in your presence, even dating, right? I'm not entitled to the person I'm dating and whatnot. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you've granted me a front seat into your life. I don't know how long this is gonna last. But I have to be grateful for that. And I have to treat that with respect and with that gratitude to say, you're not doing me a favor, no, but I appreciate that you're saying, okay, this is what we're doing.
This is your chance. Yeah.
So that, and it goes for everybody else, right? Where I'm like, yo, I'm talking to Jay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm talking to Jason.
Yeah.
How many people can say, "Oh yeah, I can call Jay"? And
Many.
playing pool with Nick. Like what?
No, you're being beaten.
Yeah. That needs to be reported.
You're catching a hiding.
Nick and pool. It's like
Now he's got no respect.
I have a lot of time, man.
But do you feel that level of gratitude and respect? I love that you go, if I'm dating somebody, if I'm friends with somebody, I have to be grateful that you afforded me this front row seat. Is there a flip side to that coin, in the sense that you also then become conscious around who you don't want in your space?
Yeah. So it's exactly it's that because my gratitude, everything is reciprocal, right? What was that law? There's a equal and opposite reaction.
Yes.
So
for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
So for me, and I'm fortunate enough that for a lot of the people I have in my space, we have the same temperament, we have the same kind of thought process. So the reciprocation is not even almost, it's
matched.
It's matched, right? Yeah. Where the respect I give, the gratitude I have for being in your space and what is reciprocated back, right? I'm very conscious about not putting myself in situations that won't feed me. So the moment I feel like this is not working, right? From a friendship perspective, whatever it is, then I remove myself. It's nothing to do with you. It's just it doesn't work for me. But with the people around me, because of that respect, because of, you know what I mean? I don't just pitch up, even when I'm dating. I won't pitch up to her house without saying I'm on my way. You know what I mean? Hey, what's up? Can I pass by?
Courtesy.
You know what I mean? That courtesy and because that's your space. I've got nothing to do with that, right? So those little things I find they then start getting reciprocated. And someone said, I don't know, am I allowed to? And I was like, yeah, you are. You know what I mean? Because there's this respect. It's like, yeah, because I noticed you always call and what. And I'm like, yeah, the fact that you've noticed, you know what I mean?
Great.
It's great. Then now we just know how to work around each other. And it's the same even with kids and what, you know, when I'm around my kids, I know how to, this is the Uncle Q I have to be and whatever, so that when they see me wherever, and it's like, oh, that's
my Uncle Q.
That's my Uncle Q. You know what I mean? So, and we often neglect kids, I feel. Sometimes it's just, they're kids.
They're just kids.
They see everything, bro.
Yeah, respect everybody and grant them.
Mr. Dube, we're out of time, so we've got to do a quick game. But before we do the game, very, very importantly, as anybody who follows you on Instagram will note, you went from this dapper, suave, hat-wearing individual. I remember many women trying to steal that hat while we were in Zambia, right? And I remember you at some point going, my hat, dog, my hat. Please, go get my hat, dog. I can't ask for... And literally, me now walking up to random women in a club going, that's not your hat. That's not your hat. And now, all of a sudden, the hat is gone. Talk to us about this evolution. I miss the hat. I'm not going to lie. Really? I like the hat.
Funny enough, you're the only one that said this. Everybody else is saying, yeah, you look younger, dog.
Look, you do look younger.
Yeah.
But there was also something that I think we grew attached to the hat as we grew to you.
Okay.
Do you remember, shout out, like great AKA, what was the album where the billboard was just his silhouette? What was it? It was one of his latest, just before the album his last album while he was alive that he dropped.
I love music, but I don't remember.
But
wasn't it the one with Fela and Versace?
I think it could have been. But if you remember, the album marketing, it wasn't his face detail. We could see it was AKA just from the silhouette. The hat for me gives you that thing. We know you, we know the hat. We can spot you in the background of a picture. We could identify with the silhouette. So for me, I'm always looking at it from an artist's point of view. I remember Dan Frigolet, the great American comedian, once said to me, because I said to him, yes, man, I feel so bad. I wear the same clothes every day on stage. And he said, but I started doing that years ago. I call it cartooning. Then I'm like, what do you mean? He said, no, I'm like Bart Simpson. Bart Simpson is in the same outfit every single day. I just wear the same clothes. I'm not saying that that's what you must do, but it was a very clever thing to go, oh, it's just easy to be recognizable and be identified as a brand. Also, then if you're wearing the hat, that's what they know on stage. Then this is how you get away with, walking in a mall and not being.
I will be honest, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Because it was a look, it was your trademark. The bag is still there, but hat and bag is how I know Q Dube.
I thought the hat went with the bucky. I was like,
I was like, no, listen, for this price, I'll throw in. No, I will be honest, I didn't think of it like that. It was just, I think a couple of times I left home because in the branding, it was now even when I'm doing things outside of comedy. So I'm going to buy bread. I'll pick up and then, where's my hat? Yeah. So the couple of times I did it without, then it was like, oh man, the fresh breeze and blah, blah, blah. And then in not separating the two, I then started going back on stage without a hat. And I hadn't thought of it like that. So for performance purposes, I will bring it back. And then when I just need to be...
but also feel it out, like do for you.
Right. No, but it makes sense.
No, you hear me.
I hear you 100%.
And it's that part of the business. So we always speak about you don't have to be the funniest, you don't have to be the most talented, but what you do have to do is as much of the business as possible. And then weirdly, something as simple as a hat, something as simple as a beard, something as simple as those little things of differentiators and marks that you own. Because there's many comedians with your current look. I can't make a list of comedians with the hat. You know what I mean? That also pull it off. Because you pull it off.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean. But anyway, I'm glad I've influenced you in that little way.
Thank you.
On to the game.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so you know the game this or that. We give you two options and then you choose one. Yeah. And then if you want, you can explain to us why.
Okay, got you.
Okay, I'm going to do this is Nicholas.
Cool.
Here we go. Axe
or shield?
X. I think I'll go. Also, I'm thinking, which one? Are you talking about?
No, antiperspirant.
Okay, yeah.
That was a throwback.
I was like, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing there.
Please don't come for us.
Don't be offended,
And
guys.
also, that wasn't him. If you are going to be offended, be offended by the nastiness of Nicholas and I bringing up dust from the past.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Absolutely
That
not.
was
If
a
you
very good
know,
one.
you know. If you don't know, don't
Don't
say.
worry.
Just
Don't
keep it
worry.
to yourself. Don't comment.
It
Don't
took me a
comment.
second. I was like, okay. No, that was good. That was good. Yeah, that was a very good one. That was a very good one. Okay.
Shield for me as well. Thank you. Pryor
Or Chappelle.
Pryor.
Ooh, that was quick.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be
That is
quiet.
quick.
I knew it was
Pryor.
going to be quiet.
Dave is good, but not Pryor level. Because remember, go back and watch Pryor.
Yeah.
He was doing what people are doing now.
Yes.
Then
Before the thing existed.
right, and in the poise of the thing,
Yeah.
in the storytelling,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? He was doing it then where acts were, I ain't scared of you, man. Those guys came after.
Yeah,
He was
way
already
after.
poised. He was already, I was training with Ali, man, and boom, boom, boom. It's like, yo, how were you in that cadence already? Then Red Fox was still joke,
all of them.
set up joke. He was
No, because he definitely opened the road for Eddie, who opened the road for the westernized style of comedy. I still go Chappelle, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
As a personal thing. So firstly, I didn't get to watch Pryor live. I've watched Chappelle live a couple of times.
Right.
Very lucky. Cool.
right.
Pryor set himself on fire. I don't think people understand how much we give of ourselves. I don't think people understand how tortured comedians can be to be able to get to the level of vulnerability that Pryor got to. And to be able to deliver on the level that Pryor got, I think you do sacrifice some of your sanity.
Yeah.
I look at Chappelle, I look at where he is, what he represents, and I look at his life. Granted, I'm not there, I don't know. But in terms of the way he's dealt with it, to be the best of his time and his generation, and be a family-focused, community-focused. The things he's speaking about on stage, the topics he's addressing, when you get past it and get to the subtext, a good human. So maybe that's why for me.
Got you.
Chappelle, but on the night, I don't think Chappelle would want to go after Pryor.
I think Chappelle wouldn't care. I think
He's also that.
I think he'd go and he'd smash.
if he has a cigarette and and that speaker, I think those speakers are
I think he'd care for this once, in isolation.
Pryor.
Maybe.
In isolation, just because goat versus goat.
Yeah.
Okay, easy one. Hat.
No hat.
Hat.
Tricky one. Kenya.
Or Zambia.
Oh, y'all are wrong for this. Oh, you're wrong for this one.
We got more coming.
Ooh, snap! I don't know. Hey.
What's your favorite part of each? Quickly, because we're out of time.
Okay. Kenya is the hunger for comedy.
Yeah.
The hunger for,
they love
and then Zambia is. People underestimate how smart Zambians are.
Yeah.
Zambians are not only smart, but they are the most delicious, warm,
Right.
and adventurous, crazy.
Right.
Good times, people.
Their
They party
minds,
till
man.
the early hours.
Love it. Well played, well dodged. Okay, dodge this. Victoria Falls.
Or Table Mountain.
Victoria Falls.
Why?
Victoria Falls. I think there's already other things that make, it's Cape Town itself. The gorgeousness of Cape Town and that. Victoria Falls is you're sifting through everything to get to the
beauty.
Okay.
And I don't care how many pictures you've seen.
Right.
I don't care how many videos you've watched. When you see the falls for the first time, when you hear, because you're first gonna hear the falls before you see the falls, and then maybe when you get closer, you start seeing they call it most of the smoke that thunders, and you'll see the mist coming off. But when you actually get there, it is hard for your brain because in season it looks like there's a waterfall in the ocean.
Yes.
Like there's an ocean of water.
Right.
Coming
That's going
over here.
through. Yeah.
Got
So
you.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Couple of easy ones to finish. Hip hop?
Jazz.
Jazz.
Why?
Jazz.
Because of
got-
the hat.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. So, no, move on.
Old
Move on.
soul.
Move on. Another easy one. Curry.
Or stew.
Curry. Oh, curry.
Yeah. My old man's
Oh.
mohodu curry.
Oh.
No, Uncle Bob, shout out.
Yo. Uncle Bob cooks a mean. Yo. Actually, I'm coming to visit.
Last one is an easy one. Beach.
Or a city.
Beach. Beach. Because you've got the centering, right? Where it's nature and it's, you know what I mean? And if there's a couple of people in bikinis, it would be nice. But, you know,
Always.
city is more
Hustle.
hustle, bustle, and da-da-da, and I have to. And sometimes you just want that. Oh, this
Serenity.
is dope with a cocktail and,
Yeah.
you good. So I think I'll say
Sunset
beach.
on the horizon.
Oh, that's lovely.
Dope.
I'll say beach.
Dope.
I look great in a bikini. I also take beach.
What are you up to? What can people look forward to, and where can they follow you?
So far is trying to do some production stuff, man. So hopefully that will come out soon. And then, yeah, man, just going to Uganda, then Rwanda, then back.
Africa's favorite child.
Yeah, just trying to do the thing as much as possible. I really feel we need to service each other.
Yeah.
You know, as we'll go to Europe and America and whatnot.
I think the continent is where it's at. I think the world is waking up now, and I think those who move first, and we had this conversation, but those who move first are going to win. There is no continent that tells a story like Africa.
Yeah.
So the richness of culture, and it's also easy for the West to come in and mine minerals, but to mine culture, you have to be African. You have to understand it, to embrace it, to honestly lean in. True story. Where do we follow you?
It's Q Dube on all platforms.
The letter.
The letter Q
Dube.
space
Oh, it's on the screen. There we go.
DUBE.
Yeah.
And then there's a hat. At least in my pictures, I haven't gotten rid of the hat. So the hat is there. You'll find it. And and shout out to these two.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't think you know how much we like you. Love you. I don't think you know how much we respect you as a talent.
And as a human.
You are amazing, and it makes me so happy to see somebody who I think is amazing, and at the same time I think is only just scratching the surface of what's to come. I have a really, really great feeling about the rest of your life, my friend.
Watch this space. Q Dube is going to be everywhere.
Great.
The
The funny
biggest
man.
and the best.
The funny man.
Funny man.
Appreciate you guys.
Funny man.
Please, if you've enjoyed the episode, like, subscribe, follow, do all of the things. Tell your friends.
Tell us who you want to see next.
Tell us who you want to see on the podcast. We want to get as many people as we can. And then thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. That's it.
Salute and away. Bye.
Bye.